I'm sorry for those inconveniences. Anyway, I have been bestowed with the opportunity to give you a brief regarding the theme of Akriti 2016. Human settlements contain people and societies in a physical environment consisting of natural and man-made elements. We can relate settlements to any form of human habitation with certain structure based on native organic pattern or a planned development, gratifying to needs of a certain density of population. When the need for shelter is served with space, light and delight, there we find the best that architecture can offer. Many of these settlements were located along potent rivers and lakes, in deltas or along coastlines, cultivated ecosystems and mountainous terrains. Aspects of time and place provide the divergence and general imagery of a space. However, architecture should invariably mirror the aspirations and achievements of a society without forsaking the contextual identity of a region. Sociological, cultural, political, and economical attributes of a community have always influenced the progress of architectural movements throughout the world. Whatever the context of the settings and other influencing indicators might be, the inhabitants soon influence their environments to mold micro as well as macro settings and modify it according to their needs. And with time, a distinct culture is formed. So what is this culture? Culture is that complex whole which includes knowledge, belief, art, morals, laws, customs, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by a man as member of the society. But however, poverty is one important component that affects people on the lower strata, and they are forced to move further and look for opportunities for resettlement. They leave their villages and move ahead in search of their destinies. And here we could relate urbanism in a manner that urban is a word used to describe the process that drives people to live in cities. And as rightfully Patrick Geddes had said, a city is more than a place in space, it is a drama in time. The people in search of their aspirations move from rural poverty into urban poverty. And the urban realm that we all fancify is hardly accessible to these people, and it is in the slums they try to settle and dwell amidst the highly influential and the rich strata. And obviously in slums the quality of life and the quality of index is very low. And who are those who are actually affected? It is the children. More than anybody, these children who migrate from rural settlements to urban settlements, they often get deprived of their rights to study, their rights to a future, a better livelihood. And we have eminent personalities in India like Kailash Satyarthi who have been bestowed with the Nobel Prize, but ironically, as it says, a great moment for all those children and not for India. And we, being a developing country, should realize the need of how the learned academia can actually provide hope and aspirations for these children. What we require now is sustainable, inclusive, safe and resilient homes. Collaboratory approach whereby slums are eradicated and we have affordable housing for all. And as per Indian Urban Mission, Housing Mission, we have houses for all by 2022. And along with this concept of right to education and housing for all, the other important component that we as architects and builders of eminent personalities of society should understand is that the critical mention at this stage is related to the social dimension of human life, the right of equality and right of existence in relation to the livelihood of normal global citizens. Being normal people, we always wish to move ahead in life and create our own domain. While I was referring to the Human Development Report, it says that never in the history have the living condition and prospects of so many people changed so dramatically and so fast, especially in urban areas. So here we come across another interesting interpretation of urbanization. Urbanization is not merely a modern phenomena, but a rapid and historic transformation of human social roots on a global scale, whereby predominantly rural culture is being rapidly replaced by predominantly urban culture. So when we are referring to urbanization, we are not only talking about the transmigration from rural to urban areas, but we are also seeing a sweeping change in our own culture, our own habitat, and our own ways of life. And this is interesting, where the young student architects in front of me should actually look into. Rather than getting more interested in individual commissions and commercial projects, we here are referring at the Human Development Index all over the world. And interestingly, if you find, that is where India lies, on the medium and the low medium development region. And these are the index of 2014, which again indicates that the overall rating of India in the whole index is very less. And obviously, as you see there, when Norway tops, Australia, Switzerland, Netherlands, and the following countries come by, we unfortunately are at a ranking of 135 in 2013. Further, so some of you might have this query, what is this Human Development Index? For those of you who are not aware of this, a very brief interpretation could be, the Human Development Index is a composite status of life expectancy, education, and per capita income indicators, which are used to rank countries into 4 tiers of human development. So, very interestingly, in 2015, you came across status like a country like Sri Lanka, our very neighboring country, ranks 73 in the world, and unfortunately India is ranked 130. With so many resources, so much potential, so much manpower, we unfortunately, the basic quality, the index of human life for an average person is very low. And furthermore, let's look at the social progress index. Here also, we are far down with respect to progressive countries. It's only 101. Urbanization could be considered as an irreversible act of land use transformation for city in transition. Not only is there a need for architects and planners to provide accountability of development, growth continuity, but also ensure pattern for objective spatial description. We are aware that urbanization is something that we cannot keep apart. We require new modes of life, new quality, and so on. But along with that, we must be very careful of how our cities and towns are actually progressing. So when we look at the urban imageability, we see that it's kind of getting very formal, very homogeneous, having concrete links to globalization and modern construction technology. Unfortunately, we try to replicate progress, and we try to see that somehow interpreting the modern okay. Sorry about that. Whatever the context might be, whether we are talking about urbanization, whether we are talking about equality of life, whether we are talking about equal opportunities, the one thing that we should understand, especially being architects and being masters in this scenario, is that we are part of the environment and not separate from it. We cannot just simply keep on exploiting our universe. We should try to accommodate the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This is something that we have to be very much focused on, and how we should plan our developments. So these are some of the concerns which we are trying to address as part of this session. So I hope the keynote speakers as well as the various resource persons who will be sharing their exposure here will be able to adequately talk and address these concerns. And obviously, the most relevant factor by raising this convention was that this awareness, this consciousness regarding nature and built environment, rather than strong carving for commercial practice, or we architects are almost very close to stardom. We lead very fanciful lives. We are so much carried away by commercial projects. But unfortunately, we fail to play a role model in the society and for safeguarding the rights of our new generations. So I take this opportunity to thank you all and welcoming you to these deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your profound thoughts. Now, I would like to inform all of you that we are dispersing for a short tea break. And after this, we'll be resuming the event on the respectful venues. So we'll be having our bamboo workshop right now. And after that, we'll be having our QIP session as well. These things will be starting by around 11:30. So please report your venues by that time. Thank you.